this gets so complicated. You lose your mind just to change it, and tomorrow you'll regret it. But until the morning, dance with me, baby, take away the pain. Dance with me, baby, you can lead the way. Dance with me, baby, a cure for the heartbreak. Dance to me and let this old record play. Let it play, baby. Let it play, baby. Dance to me and let this old record play.
Without you here, can't sleep, can't breathe. I need you here, right next to me. Thoughts in my head, racing. We can't go on like this anymore. I'm done with the games we're playing. I'm over it. Yeah, I gotta let you go. Oh, yeah, I gotta let you go. Oh, yeah, I gotta let you go. Yeah, I gotta let you go. Summer fine, I saw you right up in the summertime. I tried to make you mine, it wouldn't work. Put in work, I had to push you first. I lost my mind, went berserk. I feel like Uzi Vert. Vivian Westwood chain hanging right around my neck. Balenciaga kicks 44 when I step. Summer fine, I saw you right up in the summertime. But now I stay inside all the time, wasting away waiting for you to call one more time. Without you here, can't sleep, can't breathe. I need you here, right next to me. Thoughts in my head, racing. We can't go on like this anymore. I'm done with the games we're playing. I'm over it. So I had to let you go. Oh. Yeah, I gotta let you go. Yeah, I gotta let you go. Hey, yeah, I gotta let you go. Yeah, I gotta let you go. Yeah, I gotta let you go. I've been up for 3 nights. My eyes are bloodshot red. Damn, I wanna see the sunshine. It's getting to my head. One look in the mirror, don't like what I find. I know that somewhere in there there's a good guy, but he runs away at midnight.
Hello one all and welcome back to TTML Season 3. This is of course the 5th round of the Division 2 Championship as the midway part of the season draws ever nearer. This round is going to be the Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring, and I'm sure we have a great show on our hands. for tonight. Once again, to take you through this 5th round, it is, as per usual, your commentary lineup for this season. As always, it is myself, Daniel Hoggard on comms, and alongside me in the commentary box, it's Michael Edwards. Mike, how are you doing, buddy?
I am looking forward to this one. This may be the tightest race, the tightest lap times that we're going to see in qualifying, possibly throughout the entire season. That's just how close Austria can be. And in race, we could be seeing a lot of DRS trains formed, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, certainly that's what you've got to be looking out for all the way throughout. Certainly those DRS trains going to play up quite a factor around here. Not only that, but as you mentioned, time's always very close. By lap time, I think it might be the shortest track on the entire Formula 1 calendar. It's one of the shortest by length as well. And so certainly, well, maybe not the outright most technical circuit. It definitely throws up some exciting races. But let's see how things are looking in terms of the division, in terms of the championship standings ahead of this 5th round of the season. Of course, last time out, it was Red Bull's day, just as it was at round 3 in Spain. And it was Matej from Scuba again that Red Bull won to, and those guys now really stamping their authority on the championship. Scuba, despite not winning a race so far, still leads the way in the championship on 83 points, 10 points clear of his teammate Matej in 2nd position. XL Gary still chasing them hard. He's third place on 72, just in front of Caladri, 59, bit of a gap down there. York still sits in the top 5 on 55. Then it is B. Morgan, 6th on 48. Alonso, 7th on 41, tied with TTG Corboy. 1 point behind that is Sway, 9th on 40 points, and another point back to LMN, who rounds out the top 10. He sits currently on 39 points. Ahead of that is Volakongen next, and Noisy. They're tied on 35 points. Then another tie behind, 2 points behind between Tionis, Isotopic, and Rhyme. Turby Jeff, we're getting into some of the reserves now in the championship. Turby Jeff is 16th on 30. Then Nathan behind that, 17th on 25. McCrew behind that on 18th. Then Just Chris and AGU tied for 19th in the standings on 8 points. That is how things are looking in terms of the Drivers' Championship standings. But Mike, obviously those 2 Red Bulls have been well at the top there. Now they hold a pretty decent 51-point lead in the Constructors as well. So the question is, can they hold on to that? Can they build on that momentum maybe and pull away? Or do you reckon that some of the other drivers and teams are going to maybe flip the tables and come back at them starting this 5th round, of course, here in Austria?
Well, this is the big question. The Red Bulls they've managed to walk away with back-to-back 1-2s. Matej ahead of Scuba in both of the results. But this is Red Bull's home circuit. I'm expecting them to try extra hard for that Red Bull 1-2 at the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, it's going to be very intriguing to see if they can try and complete those fortunes yet again. Going to be fascinating to behold how it all will unfold. We are getting the admin and host Sway ready up, so I think now we are going to be getting ready up for qualifying. You guys know how it runs by now. 18 minutes is going to be the deal, 50% race distance to follow that. And qualifying here, maybe not the most important, as it is a relatively easy track to make overtakes at, but DRS trains can build up as well. You always want to be up the front of the grid, and with times so often so close around here, qualifying is going to be split by the tiniest margins, but that is what we have ahead of us. So now, as we get loaded in, and 16 drivers raring to go for tonight, let's get into it then. Qualifying coming up in just a few seconds' time. And so the scene is set for the 5th round of the TTML Season 3 Division 2 Championship here for the Austrian Grand Prix. The Red Bull Ring is the track in question for tonight. Of course, what do we have on our hands then? Well, the selected tyre compounds for this race, C2, C3 and C4 tyres C2 tires being the longest lasting, the C4 tires being the outright fastest in a track that is set in the beautiful Styrian scenery around the forest that surrounds the track. A track that is 4.3 kilometers in length, featuring 10 turns, 3 to the left and 7 to the right, and 3 DRS zones heading into turn 1, turn 3 and turn 4. And those DRS zones are what really define the race around Austria. That means that we're going to get 36 laps of utter action from start to finish out there, so please be on the lookout for action all the way up and down the field, which now we can get into. You can see now the scene set for qualifying. Overcast conditions here, Mike, and 16 drivers out on track. Even though it's a downsized grid for tonight, still the driver's going to have to make sure they're not running into traffic. It is such a small lap, but we'll see what they can get on with here. Qualifying is going to be so important though, Mike, because the margins around here are so incredibly tiny.
Yeah, exactly. Just going deep into one corner could lose you multiple positions. I believe we have our first car coming out on track now, which is XL Gary, who's going to be looking to get himself back up towards the top end once again. Of course, last time out, we saw Alonso take the podium on track, but no, he took a podium on penalties, but Sway had his 5-second time penalty removed and inherited the podium. It was Sway who took it on track that day. I had to quickly correct myself, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Alonso can and Sway, actually, it's interesting if both of them can get themselves up towards the front once again.
Yeah, of course, last time out in Baku was a bit of a crazy race, and as you come to expect from that race circuit. And so, of course, that's what we were treated to. We'll see if we're going to get the same fortunes from tonight. XL Gary is going to be the first driver to tackle this 10-turn Red Bull ring. And so let's get this started then. Going up to the line then, and gearing up for what is going to be a flying lap around the Red Bull ring. So starting things off then, over the line, heading up towards the first corner, to the curb on the outside and onto the brakes, into the right hander, turn 1, they're holding in 4th gear, onto the exit there, up through the gears again, but DRS open, flying on the rise towards turn 3, little left hand king of turn 2 before the braking zone, heading into 3, taking it in 2nd gear, short shift to 3rd, make sure you get the traction up here, and it's going to carry your momentum with DRS over for the 3rd time on the lap as he powered down yet again, heading down the hill into turn 4 again. Use that curve on the outside then, clipping the curve on the inside, short shift again, really got to be flowing all the way through there, maximising the traction but maximising the apex speed in this high speed section of the track then, as he headed through turn 6, and now sweeping through turn 7 then, critical to punch early on the throttle and power clear around this power circuit. Now again downhill into turn 9, maximum commitment needed on the way in, then running it back out to the outside line and now sweeping into the final corner on the lap, then through turn 10, DRS it again, and it's going to be Gary to the line, opening up the session with a 103 flat. Kick things up, but we're going to have a series of lap times to come in. There are a lot of drivers raring to get their times in, so we'll see where they all unfold there, but the times are going to come thick and fast here around Austria.
Yeah, but as we got B Morgan to the line 4 tenths off Gary's lap time, but he did go purple in the final sector, so showing that he may have had a bit more commitment in the final 2 corners. As we got some more times coming in from Jorg and Ace Noisy splitting Gary and B Morgan up there.
Yeah, you're already seeing that kind of discrepancy in the times that everyone looking to get their mark in nice and early here. We're still tracking some of the drivers out there on track then. TNR, Tionis, maybe will be the next driver to come up to the line and flying it now in to the penultimate corner there, carrying as much apex speed as possible, make sure to keep it balanced on this exit. He's just been able to do so as Dionis now, powering up to the line and goes slap bang in the middle of the field then, P3 for the moment for the Norwegian and the Renault. So that's how it stands so far then. Still more drivers to come through. Wesker though, he's backed off a lap then, unable to keep it balanced, unable to keep it quite clean out there so far. But so we're in a bit of a transition pace there. We're watching now, I think, LMN and the AlphaTauri now. Again, it's next to the time. There's Noisy. Goes fastest in the Alpha. And that was the second lap of the tires. He's got some pace, but LMN is even faster. A 102.871. Storming lap then for the AlphaTauri. Going right to the top then. 102.8 is a crushing lap time. I'm sure we're going to see further improvements as well throughout the session as it continues to unfold. But LMN, strong lap time over a 10th clear. Noisy up there in second place. You can see the discrepancies in the sector times. LMN though, flying through the first and second sectors. That's what made the difference in the end. That's what carried him through. That's pole position for the moment. But only 6 times on the road there, mate. So that's telling me now, these drivers at a track that's notoriously difficult to do so, struggling to keep it within the 2 white lights, and only 6 valid lap times on the board for those first runs.
Yeah, well, turn 1 being so crucial to get it right. You really want to carry as much speed as possible. Very easy to cut the inside or just extend the track limits on the outside on the exit of turn 1. And right now, Cowboy in the middle sector, he is purple in the middle sector, so we'll see where this is going to put the man in the Mercedes as he comes into the penultimate corner. Little bit wide there, but to the line will come Cowboy. What's this going to be? It's going to be a 3.3.
Yeah, most of his time lost there coming in that middle sector. He's bang on the money throughout the other 2 sectors of the lap there, but we still got lap times to come in there. I saw Sway, who was coming through, but he's invalidated on a lap. He was flying as well throughout the first sector, was purple, but unfortunately that is not going to amount to anything, and he's going to back off yet again and look for better fortunes throughout the remainder of the session. We're now in a transition phase. Most of the drivers on second runs are going to gear it up there. I think we're going to watch Wesker though next up in the Racing Point then, going up towards his final corner. Take us to a whole lap, Mike. Let's see what the Racing Point can do. Gearing up for the exit, we'll see where he can go as we're now 6 minutes into the session. What can Wesker do now as he heads over the line to start another flying lap?
The DRS wide open, braking at the 100-meter board, clipping the inside curb, getting onto the outside curb on the exit of turn 1. DRS wide open once again, up into 8th gear as we climb up the hill towards turn 3, braking once again just after the 100-meter board as we get the traction down on the straight down towards turn 4. Taking a little bit of slipstream there from XL Gary as we go now into turn 3rd gear. Gets decent traction coming out of it. Very minimum wheel spin as we come now towards the second sector. Split. Very easy to lose a couple of times here by just going too wide, but Wesker holding it through brilliantly at the moment. Now the penultimate corner, maximum commitment here on the inside curb, on the outside curb, maximising all the track that is available to him through the final corner. DRS wide open to the line, and it's going to be a free flat, almost exactly a free flat to be honest.
Yeah, good old lap then from Wesker 95. We got more lap times coming in there. I'm not sure exactly who that was that jumped up on the board. That was Caladri, yeah, going up into second place and backing up his teammate LMN. So those 2 AlphaTauri coming on strong at the top of the time sheet. AGE crosses next, goes into 5th place on a 103Z. And so we're seeing these lap times come flying in there. As we next up, we got a Red Bull to the line then. I think that was Matt Tables, and he goes straight to the top and he won a 2.7. And again, he is on the money, he is on form, and he is continuing to impress out there. Scuba next up, height on medium tires, interestingly enough. And so he's opting to try and maximise his grip maybe later on in the session. Not quite getting the lap time in right now around the power circuit like Austria. That lack of grip's going to cost you, and Scuba at the bottom then, 13th position only, but he does surely have a lot more potential, a lot more time to give and to power into that then. Gary next up goes second, just 700 shy of the top time, so Gary's will coming on very strongly out then. But so as we still progress through the middle point of the session, I think the next driver we're going to watch is going to be Tionis then, heading up to the line. We'll see what the Renault can do. We're going to keep an eye as well on more lap times coming in now as everyone gears up for their flying runs then, as we near the halfway point in the session. Let's see how everyone is going to fare throughout this lap then. Keeping an eye on Tionis then. He is currently sitting pretty in that 11th place. We'll see what he can do. Is he improving in the first sector? Hasn't actually come through for me in the task, but we'll see what he can continue to press with that then through the middle section of the lap then. Going now into turn 4, we'll see what the entry is like that doesn't use the carbon. We've seen other drivers do it in the second gear though, very aggressive through the apex, and then carrying that through to the edge and then continuing that power along, then sweeping through into turn 6, then hitting the curve on the inside, hitting the curve again on the outside and keeping the momentum flowing through there, going through turns 7 and 8 and nailing the throttle through the exit of the corner. Let's see now what the Renault can conjure up through these last two corners. Running a little bit wide, holds it together though just about. Rail over the curve, running wide. That's invalid, unfortunately. Just Tionis coming off shy then, and oh, you have to feel for him. Looked like a decent enough lap, but ultimately just came undone. Right at the end, Sway is the next driver to come across the line, and of course the podium last time out. But of course that lap time not represented to be backed off in the middle point of the lap. And so Sway unable to get one on the board then in this middle stage of the session. A little bit quiet out there, and so we'll see what we can do. But Matt Tibos in that pole position. Can fortunes be repeated? We've not seen many mega fast lap times so far, but he is on top. Gary trying to go with him, and so far Matt Tibos looks comfortable. We'll see what he can do, because this, surely these last 8 minutes are going to see fortunes change and lap times coming in then, as was that Ace Noisy who came through over the line and put himself up into 4th place, and Ty Caladri's time be getting the edge then, so he goes up in a 4th. We're still seeing lap times coming flying in. Noisy moving up, and Matt Tibos still in that pole position. Well, question is though, with 7 minutes to go, can the Brit hang on to this? This would really establish his dominance within the championship if he racks up another victory in that pole position battle.
Yeah, Matt Tibos, absolutely fantastic lap so far, and we are starting to see just how close it is here at Austria. As I believe we just had
Sway.
I believe that was Sway. Yeah, Sway up in the 8th. I saw someone jump up the table a little bit. I'm currently on board with Caladri as he just goes through the first sector split. He is about half a 10th up. Gets a little bit of a wheel spin and back end snapping out on him on the exit of turn 3, and we'll see if that has affected his sector 2. So he has a big lock up there into turn 4, so this might not be the improvements that he's looking for, but there's definitely time out there for him if he can improve. But just getting over the curb there and invalidating his lap, and we're seeing quite a lot of invalidations here today.
Yeah, and of course that's just the case when you're trying to push the limits and try to promote such small margins. You're going to be seeing that through and through. And so Matt Tibos still in that pole position, but we're seeing it all evolve all the way through then. And the heartbreak for some of these drivers, Caladri was purple in the first sector, was nearly a full 10th quicker than Matt Tibos' current pole time. As now, we're going to see some lap times continuing to flooding in then. Looking at some of the first sector times coming in then, and actually looks to be, it's isotoping in the Ferrari that's really coming on strong, but we're going to keep an eye on some of the rest of the sectors. On board with Matt Tibos then, as he powers through turn 4 then, setting up the next and punching clear. Caladri still out there on the lap, then he's improving as well. Yet again, heading through that middle sector to the line as one of the Alvataris as well. I think that was a little bit just coming over the start of the lap, currently 3rd in the order as it stands, and we're still watching Matt Tibos there, approaching those final few corners. Isotoping to the line, goes 9th position on a 103 flat then. We go to Williams, and behind that's Gary. Gary coming through, minute improvement, not enough. Matt Tibos down through. He does improve, and improves emphatically. A 1:02.6, a storming lap from Matt Tibos. Yet again, he is 2 tenths clear. Caladri comes through and just misses out. Another 0.6 for Caladri went it. Scuba as well, backing up his teammate yet again, going through on a 102.7. Matt Tibos though, pole position again, but Caladri pushing him incredibly close. Those two let away clear the field at the moment. 5 minutes to go, we'll see how the session evolves. Matt Tibos has fell on the pole position all the way through. The question is, for the last 5 minutes, can he hang on to it for just a few minutes longer? Because Caladri was ever threatening, just 400ths down on that last lap.
Yeah, Caladri managed to improve in sector 1, then found a lot of time in sector 2. He was over 2 times up in sector 2, so it was going to be close. And Scuba up there with his teammate as well. So the Red Bull's going strong here at the Red Bull ring, and the Alpha Tauris, the sister team of Red Bull, also doing well as well, up in 2nd and 5th at the moment.
Yeah, it seems to be almost no coincidence that they're the teams that really seem to be high flying at this stage in qualifying, but there is still an awful long way to go and an awful lot of lap times to come flying in the dying moments of the qualifying session. So who do we have next up to step up to the plate? Not exactly sure exactly. I think the camp is still out there on a flying lap. It was far down in the first sector, so I don't think he's going to be improving. Bit of a down period then in the session as it stands. Most drivers then in the pit lane are gearing up for flying laps. Actually, I think Jorg is still out there on the track. He just improved it. He's just improved going up in the 5th place. So Jorg, but going up through the he is actually, really flying in the first sector. So Jorg looking to try and consolidate this and maybe get another lap time in. Does he have the battery to do so? Does he have the fuel to do so? Nevertheless, he is going to keep pushing it now, flying it in. Downhill in a turn 4, really aggressive on the entry, now punching out through the exit, now to the kick on 5, and now swimming through into turn 6, and getting as close to the curve and touching the curve as he can, then early on the total. That is the key to this middle section of the lap. How is the middle sector then? He is still powering along nicely. Middle sector is quick. It's just up again on this flying lap, and he's running out of ERS. That's going to stop propelling it forward. This can still be very, very quick from Jorg, who's dominating some of the pole position battles throughout the season. Now to the line comes the Alfa Romeo, goes from 5th to 3rd, and right in the thick of it now, Jorg up at a P3, and within 900 of pole position as well. So Jorg is right up there. I think Wesker's the only other driver on a flying lap, so we'll cut towards the racing point, but he's also backed off and is going to look to go again. So now we're in that transition phase to the last lap. I think B. Morgan is coming through again and take us to the lap, mate. Let's see what the Renault can do. Currently Knight, we'll see if he can push himself up even higher, try and challenge the top drivers, but he's invalidated straight away then on that lap, and that is going to be a major setback, no doubt about it. So I think Gary is the next driver behind that then, and the Williams ready to get everything set up then, looking to try and fly around the lap then. 5th and row, see what he can do. 2 minutes to find it at small. Let's see what he can do. 2 minutes to go. Gary, can he find that time then? Heading through turn 8 and 10, ready to kick off. Could be his final lap then. The Irishman coming through, championship contender. Needs a big lap here. Let's see, Mike, if he can pull it off.
Yep, as he tries to get the best run possible out of the final corner to maximise his speed on the run down into turn 1, 4th gear, taking as much of the inside curve as is possible to take, and now climbing up towards turn 3. The elevation changes at this track can also play a factor. I know we didn't really speak on the elevation changes earlier, but he is up on his time in sector 1. It is I believe it's a purple sector 1 there. At least that's what I got on my screen as he breaks down into turn 4. And now this is where we're going to see if Gary is on course to challenge for pole position here. Middle sector, he's over at 10th up. Can he find more time in the final sector as he runs now towards the penultimate corner? Maximum attack. How much of the curb on the inside does he take? He takes a lot of curb on the inside and on the exit and to the line. What is this going to be for XL Gary? To the line, and it's a 2-5. Unbelievable.
That is sensational from Gary. He's still pushing out there, but we've got a lot of lap times to come in to close out the session. Caladri behind in the lap, then powering out a turn 10 in the AlphaTauri. 30 seconds left in the session, dying away. He comes through. He's just getting kicked off there. I think he backed off the lap midway through then, was unable to put together a great back half of the lap, and he's invalidated again. So this session pretty much drawing to a close. Behind that then is the Red Bull Scooper just crossing then, and Matt Timos behind then. How's his first the middle sector this quick? He is down. The middle sector is sensational with the first sector letting him down. He runs wide again, and he is maybe being denied a pole here. He's invalidated this, and next lap, and Matt Timos' chance is fading to close out this session. He'll be no higher than second now on the road then. Still, lap times fly again. Convoy goes over the line. That's 12th place only for the Mercedes then McLaren behind dives to the pit lane. Gary is still out there running wide though. He will be denied of an improvement. He was down anyway, I think, going through that middle sector. Behind that then is Sway, powering round turn 10 again, running wide, and I don't think that's going to be improvement. He backs off to the line and yields the lap. Further down the road then we got Noisy coming through now the last corner, crowing up to the lane. Does improve, goes 6th position then, and continues to move up then. Do we have more lap times coming? Caladri has rounded up the session. Behind that though, it's going to be Scuba. Right as we have do have one of that's the element coming through. He does get in the fifth place then, about a half a 10 down on Yoga head, then Scuba crossing, goes up to third and backs up his teammate again. Red Bull are so strong around here. And so, with 2 cars left in the session, Matt T-Boss backing out, then Reduce waiting for Zionis, who is still pushing, getting it all. Last of the time set, can he find a little bit more time out there on the track then? Is he improving? I don't think he is. I think he's backed off this one. And so Gary snatches pole possession, 102.5, stunning lap. We'll see what he can do with it. Just 300ths the margin, but Gary has that critical pole position now to carry forward into the 50% race.
Yeah, and this is where we're going to see who is going to come out on top here. Gary snatches a pole right at the end there. Matt Tibos was looking fantastic throughout the entire session, but look at that top 4, the gap between them.
That is absolutely stunning. Less than 700ths of a second covering those top 4. Jorg comes through at P5, then LMN is 6th. Cam ends up getting P7 in the end, then Noisy, Wesker, B. Morgan round out the top 10. 410's covering that top 10. Behind that is AGU, Coreboy, Isotopic, Sway, Tionis, Alonso unable to get a lap time down. The top 12 covered by less than half a second. The top 14 by less than 6/10. And that is going to be game on then for the qualifying set, or for the race, I should say, coming up very soon. Gary on that pole, but it's a difficult track to hold on to it. Overtaking, not so difficult around here. DRS so powerful. Gary may be pole for this race, but holding on to it is going to be immensely difficult.
Yeah, he's going to have to hope for the absolute most perfect first 3 laps so he can break DRS immediately. That is going to be the goal for Gary, and that is probably going to be his best chance of being able to keep the lead for a sustainable amount of time in this race, because as we know, the DRS trains, they form very quickly around here, and it'll be interesting to see those guys outside the top 10. Who's going to go on the mediums, because it's easy to keep with the guys on the softs on the mediums when you're in a DRS train.
Yeah, the question is, though, can they hold on to that DRS train? Circumstances for the first few laps can change the course of the race emphatically, so keep an eye out for those guys outside the top 10. I'm suspecting we could be seeing a lot of medium strategies. The general strategy for the soft runners is going to be a soft to hard. I believe soft to medium is possible, but very, very ambitious and very difficult to pull off, and maybe not the most practical. So now, as we look to get loaded into the race, we'll see where everyone stands in terms of the tyres, because outside the top 10, it's almost unanimous that AG, Cowboy, Isotopic, Sway and Alonso all opting for the mediums then to start the race. It's behind, I think that was Jorg, who went spearing off to the side then, recovers the car, but he will have some grass on those tyres. But I think Tionis is the sort of outsider on that one, goes 15th place soft tyres, and he's going to look to make ground with the start. Obviously was disappointed with how qualifying went, so the Renault is trying something different then. We'll see what he can do with that. But yeah, Tionis going for those softs. We'll see what he can do with it. But it's going to be interesting because the start for him and gaining positions on those medium runners is going to be so critical. If he can't make progress early on, getting through at the end of the race is going to be immensely difficult for the Renault driver.
Yeah, it is crunch time for Tionis. He is going to have to make these moves early, make him stick and cut through the field to at least get onto the back of his teammate up in P10. And I mean, when you look at the possibility as well that a lot of these guys, they might have to go that extra lap because they're going to be so close to their teammates.
Yeah, that's certainly, especially with the Red Bulls and also the AlphaTauris being so close to each other on the track. Now we head round to the grid. Gary on pole, Matt T-Bus alongside you, alongside him, but we'll see what we can do. I'm going to come to you though quickly, Michael Edwards. You know it by now. What is your top 3 prediction for this race? How do you reckon this Austrian Grand Prix is going to unfold?
I'm going to go with the top 3 as they are.
Oh wow.
Simple to the point.
Of course, they are our 3 leading championship contenders. We'll see if we're going to have those fortunes again here tonight, as now they look to line up on the grid, as now they are settled in. 16 drivers wearing to go racing yet again. It is Gary on the front of the grid, Matt T-Bus alongside him, who's going to be leading in a turn 1 as we build up to 5 lights. And we are away for the 5th round of the championship of the Austrian Grand Prix. Who's got the best on the grid? So from turn of the grid, and Scuba charging right around the outside, looking for the race lead. He's going to go toe-to-toe with Gary, runs him out wide, but the lead will be held by the Williams, who shoots over to the center turn 1. Scuba tracking him in the slipstream, and Matty Moss around trailing Scuba to the inside lane at turn 3. Then Scuba looks, he doesn't threaten though. It's now behind Calandri, right into the Matty Moss, then trying to get through on his teammate as the old Joseph for possession down there at the hairpin then, as the first lap continues to unfold. Still Calandri looking at Matty Moss running round the outside in turn 4. Can he hit a jump on the red? But he's very barely on the brakes, running wide though. Matty Moss will scoop underneath him. There's a whole host of cars with damage in that midfield. You can see them all jostling away, and that mid portion of the field gaps already beginning to open as well, as we've got Cowboy, Wesker, Element, Cam, they've all got damage that must have come together at that hairpin, all dropping back to the order. Chaos, Manic on that opening lap. Then Jorgens will move moving past the Element, who has that damage. You're going to see a busy penalty, I suspect, at the end of this first lap. Everyone coming in, Element getting a penalty at this early stage. Disastrous start. And we're seeing these cars coming on already. What a manic first lap. There was chaos down there at that hairpin.
Yeah, I saw Cam pick up damage in turn 1. Wesker running into the back of someone at turn 3 at the top of the hill. Jonas retiring from the session immediately. So I think that's a missed opportunity, because you never know at Austria. A safety car could come out and bring you back into the race. I think that's a mistake there from Jonas.
Yeah, and also as well, the point system here. And TTML actually rewards drivers down the back of the field a little bit more than you usually see. And so, yeah, that's something you've got to be looking out for. And I think that Jonas may well miss that opportunity, as you've said. Give me an update on the race up at the front, though. Gary still leads, but he's got the Red Bulls hounding him and staying right there with him. Calandri with him. These are actually the top 5 in the championship, occupy the top 5 spots of the race for the moment, but it's Jorg that is struggling as his teammate Noisy raiding him in, and the DRS trait may well be broken up there if Jorg cannot pull it together as they head over the line then. In second place, Scuba, fastest lap of the race. He's raiding at Gary, looking for a way through maybe on this lap then. He's set the fastest lap of the race, and now he's going to look to consolidate that then. Element with a penalty further down the field, but look now at Scuba. He's got the DRS, hitting up to that turn 3, but he seems to be sinking behind the wet dress and making the move. He's going to bide his time and wait for the opportunity maybe to present itself on the Williams. Just up the road is compatriot, is right in his line of sight. The 210 is the gap between him and Gary's covering to the inside lane at turn 4, so to the outside Scuba's gonna go, but he can't get far enough alongside through the entry of the corner. Has to sit him behind, but Gary leading it, but you're already seeing the pace of Scuba, the championship leader, showing his caliber here. Sits right on the back of Gary, looking for a way through already. Scuba's right with him. Can Gary shake him at the moment? Gary under huge pressure. Scuba, Matty Moss and Calandri all going with him, but these top 4 already beginning to pull away. You're behind, looks struggling to keep up, so the top 4 establishing that gap. We'll see if they can keep going as we near the 4th lap now in this Austrian Grand Prix.
Yep, Scuba very happy to just sit in behind Gary, be patient with this overtake. He's got the laps to do it. He doesn't need to do it right now immediately, and he's more than happy to just sit behind the Williams for the time being. Jorg seems to get a fantastic run out of turn 1, but the DRS from the top 4, the 4-man train that they have for the race lead, just seems to pull him away from Jorg, so he can't get in that DRS window for the run down into turn 4. As you can see, he got a better run out of turn 3 there, just dipping within, but he's back outside the second again.
But further up the road, that Scuba going right the inside of Gary in a turn 4. Great traction, great exit. He's pulling clear. But Gary fading back to the outside lane, running wheel to wheel through turn 6 and all the inside by side. They're going at it again. 2 championship contenders. Gary swings back around the outside, reclaims that race, and they're already going at it up at the front. That's Luke. Matty Moss to get right in the mix here. Scuba has the intentions of attacking now, but he couldn't quite come through. Gary covered him off just about, but now Scuba's established. He's going to keep on pressing and looking for that way through to present himself. The 3/10 of the gap over the line there. 5th lap of the race commences with Gary still leading yellows back in the field, and a swing going round, and swing dropping the Mercedes full safety car now on track, which is going to bring those guys behind it pedal the first lap back into it, neutralising the front battle as well. Full safety car, that's baffling. Sway is still in the race. He has got some pretty major front wing damage, of course, that he's going to have to repair, but Sway going out there, he will be able to get back in the race. Safety car seems excessive, maybe a bit of debris down there on the track, but it does allow all these guys back out in the lead that those guys at the front were pulling out then. It was over a second to Young behind. Now that's going to be neutralised, and all of a sudden everyone from breath downwards back into this race. This is all going to tighten up out there on the track.
Yeah, and right now, as I said, it was a mistake from Jonas to retire straight away on lap 1, because look what's happened. A few laps later, safety cars come out. He would have been back in it.
He would have been right back in contention, certainly at the back of the field, nevertheless, albeit, but he would have had that advantage of being able to convert that onto the safety cars. Look at this then, further up the road, Matt Tibos being brave here, the reigning race champ, the race winner. York staying out there, Caladri is in behind as well. Medium tires going on, surely they could not go the full race distance. Caladri's got in for Hards behind them, they could get to the end of the race. Conversely with Matt Tibos, that is so brave and so bold, but surely he's not going to the end of those, so he's committed to a two-stop strategy, maybe hoping there's a safety car later on. The baffling strategy call then, he will emerge in 9th place, but that seems to be odd for Matt Tibos. He'll be flying, no question, but is that the right strategy call, going for mediums that are surely not going to make the race distance?
This is going to be incredibly interesting now, because obviously we know that the mediums, I personally don't think 30 laps on mediums, that's just, that I can't even compute that in my mind if that's possible. But he's definitely committed to a two-stop from my knowledge of the strategies around here. The interesting thing is he going to be able to have a big enough gap on those soft runners after they make that first pit stop, because they're going to be going to the end, presumably after they make their pit stop. Matt is going to have to make sure that he's close enough on those very fresh tyres at the end to really attack.
Not only that, but as well, the soft runners now staying out on those softs at the moment. They're going to have that. They're going to have the opportunity of potentially keeping those, going on to mediums for the second stint, since their tyre wear is going to be nullified under that safety car, where they're going a lot slower, won't be putting as much stress on the tyres, and so they'll have the opportunity to run mediums and counteract Matt Tibos' strategy, and the tyres will be fresher as well. Caladri, I think, is a good strategy call for those hard tyres, but unless safety cars are well timed, Matt Tibos looks like he's going to need a lot of fortune to be able to claim this race win. We'll see what he can do with it, but it's an odd strategy call, especially for someone that's had such a good run of form. Going for those mediums, we'll see if it's going to work out for him, but he's going to have a lot of ground to make up then. From 9th on the road, he's got to fight through the pack and make up for an extra pit stop. Matt Tibos, he's going to need it's going to need a stellar drive to pull up, but even making these overtakes is going to be difficult, especially on that top 5 on the softs. So Matt Tibos, it's going to be fascinating, it's going to be a spectacle to see him try and fly through, but can he possibly make up the difference? Safety cars at this lap, it's such an important stage of the race for Matt Tibos. He's going to fly through, safety car at this lap, so Gary control the race. When does the Irishman go? Scuba's threatened him all the way throughout, so Scuba's going to want to try and jump him. Gary is going to be poised. When do you think he's going to go, Mike? When do you think he's going to put on that throttle pedal, try and jump away and get a gap over Scuba that cannot be made up for?
I think he's going to go on the exit of the penultimate corner. For some reason, I think that's where he'll potentially go, because obviously mid-corner it can be tricky to get the traction down, so he may just go on the exit. Ooh. But he's actually gone already before the penultimate corner, so Gary getting us back under the way. Safety car into the pit lane is coming into the pits, and we will be back racing under green flag conditions once again on lap 8.
No DRS, of course, for these drivers. They're going to have to overtake the old-fashioned way, and overtaking is what Ice Hopping is doing, and it's 3 press in a turn 1. Ice is hopping on the inside lane, then running round the outside then. Is the Renault V Morgan just been able to sustain the place, and it's Matt Tibos on the attack behind it. He's already jumped Alonso, but still they go parallel. Heading to turn 3 then, the McLaren of AGU trying to sunset the gap then down the outside. Then Ice is hopping running into his Matt Tibos wing damage in the background. Did he run into the back of the cars in front then? AGU, can he open alongside nice. Tommy has a lot of momentum on the Ferrari. Running around the outside, cuts in front, covers the inside lane. Nice Tommy. Brave on the brakes. Running round the outside, he holds it for the Matt Demos, who has damage, fairly major damage. B. Morgan as well has front wing damage, and the Renault, so these guys may be able to bet, but Matt Demos' strategy has worked even further against him. Now, his race looked from promising, now looks disastrous as Alonso holding in on him. Surely has the pit this lap. Matt Demos already going to the pit lane for Red Bull, diving to the pit lane. That is disaster, and his race has come undone. He needs a safety car now to get back into it. It's adamant then. Matt Demos said this is massive for the championship.
Yeah, I was on board with Matt Demos. I saw exactly what happened. He just tried to carry a little bit too much momentum as everyone was bunching up into turn 3, goes straight into the back of the McLaren of AJU, and front wing damage was the result, and that was the risk that you run by pitting under the safety car and coming out in the midfield, I think.
Yeah, he just got caught up there in a bit of a scuffle then out of turn 1 and heading into turn 3 then. You can see battles further down the field though. Sway attacking Wesker, has some much better tires underneath the racing point then, but he breaks very late as Wesker trying to hold the place. Around the outside, he's going to cut in front of. Look at Cam trying to attack the Mercedes as well. Then Sway's on the defensive here. Look at Cam sweeping round the outside of turn 5, inside of turn 6, nearly runs into Wesker. Stuck on the inside lane and Sway face back to the outside lane, but that is covered off by Cam. He will sustain that 13th place just about then. They both threw everything at Wesker, but Wesker held on in front them as now they swing and go through turn 9 over the line and DRS now enable we first in use. Heading into turn 3 as the lead get a change hands there. Gary still leads, Skipper going well with him, but the gap opening up to the two chasing Alfa Romeos. And third and fourth and trying to threaten the two Racinas. Skura chasing Gary down, but Gary holding on in front there, maintaining that race lead. He has a little bit more ERS, but both these guys have done a great job of managing that then. To the lead, Gary setting a much better pace and Skipper not threatening him just yet. Without DRS may come into place further down the field. There Cam and Wesker battling. Cam will at last claim the inside line up in a 12th place. Now can he try and fight through and reclaim some places up the road then. Wesker now leads Sway out there on the track, then running wide though, going through turn 4, opens up the door, but Sway will not be able to consolidate that. He sits behind in 14th. Matt Demos a long way back. Has some horse carried to the end of the race, but he needs a stellar run of laps to get back into this one. Gary still leads the way. Skubik trying to go with the 5/10 of the gap there, but York looking a little bit more suspect to holding on to these guys. He's got some ERS. Noisy trying to hang with them. It's a breakaway group of 4 yet again. This time it's the Williams, the Red Bull, and the two Alfa Romeos going with it. They seem content, but Morgan with the wing damage has drawn back hugely. 2.5 seconds back, and it looks like he's actually holding back the medium runners. They're all charging up behind him, and even Caladriel, those hards, sticking with it. He's got a great opportunity to fight back late in the race.
Yeah, and obviously with Caladriel on those hards, he effectively almost has a full pit stop advantage ahead of the soft runners. But you know, for Matt Demos, it's not over. He's pumping in fastest laps. When these guys on the softs pit, they're only going to be a couple of seconds up the road as AJ gets through on B Morgan. So maybe the sign of the crossover beginning to happen between the soft and the mediums.
You said to B Morgan's going to have to be diving to the pit lane very, very soon. Then he's going to get swamped surely by these charging medium runners then. But it looks like he can make that direction. Yes, to the pit lane. He's going to go there. There's a battling for the lead. That's Gary going in early. So Gary opting for the pit lane. Then it's Lysa Topic then. Penalty. The first of several penalties now in the race, and won't be the last either because they're going to continue to build up over the front. Scuba's pace phenomenal. Electric. He is pulling clear of Jorg, who struggles to hang with him then, and dropping down and out of that DRS, where he's just going to have to really work to get back within it. Further down the road though, Alonso now getting up, and Alonso now Topic will sweep through in a 5th place then, as they're still battling down the field as well then. Now Cam attacking Corboy to the inside lane. They go wheel to wheel through turn 3 then, and opening up the exit. They are still side by side and then vying for that run in a turn 4 then. Cam fighting back to the inside lane then. Corboy trying to keep the attack going to the outside of turn 4. Breaks late, but maybe not late enough. He's going to get squeezed out by the Haas, who will hold on to the place just about them. But Gary went in on that last lap, and he emerges 9 seconds behind this train. 6, nearly 7 seconds clear. Be Morgan behind. We're going to see maybe to the front. And these guys are going to make that all-important pit stop then that they have to make throughout the race. But Scuba, York, Noisy all staying out. The question is, Mike, are these guys going to extend to mediums? Maybe a bit of a short-term loss, but a long-term gain maybe. Do you think mediums will be going on? They could get to the end of the race, possibly for this time out. Gary going in early, trying to grab an undercut. He may get out the DRS train, but is this the best option for him? If these guys are mediums, they're going to be way quicker, surely, in that middle sin.
This is going to be... This is the thing now, the strategies have completely opened up since that safety car. We saw Matty Boss attempt the 2-stop as he picked up damage. Unfortunately, he had to duck out and chuck on a fresh set of hards. Let's see at the softs what they plan on doing. They may just stretch out the softs 1 or 2 extra laps to have fresher hards at the end, or they could stretch to the mediums. The strategy's been thrown completely out the window. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Safety cars blowing this race wide open. Let's see if anyone's going to have to try coming. There's 2 Alfa Romeos running together on the track. They're going to have to coordinate their efforts. Scuba staying out another lap, and he's not opting for that pit lane just yet. Behind him though, York is diving in then for the Alfa Romeo team. And what tires are going on? Is it mediums? Is it hards then? As he now looks to the pit lane, gets a stop nicely then, leaving Noisy isolated out there and looking to continue to power on out there on the track then. So into the pit lane. TTG York dives in, and what the tires going on? It is going to be a set of medium tires. So there's the contrasting strategies. Guy will jump him by some distance, but those mediums going on are going to swing it back towards the Dutchman surely up the road. That's swap between the 2 Mercedes there to the inside sway. Will clear Corboy. Going in at turn 3 will maintain that position, get through it, and try and charge up to the pack up ahead, then still stacked up behind AGU then in that 3rd position at the moment then. Element is threatening Caladri, his teammate, can't quite get through for the moment. Cam as well trying to hold in from behind. But he is simply too far away in turn 6 to make any moves happen. He's looking to the inside, he's going to dive late. I was not expecting that. The slide isn't going red. Red goes Cam. He tried to get ambitious. I think that LMN was not expecting that. To the inside lane he went, and to the inside lane was what caused that spin then. And round goes the Haas. You have to feel for that then. Noisy now going in from 2nd place, but Cam, you sense that move was just a little bit too ambitious. Tried to dive it down the inside, didn't come to fruition. Now the road Noisy coming in, but Cam dropping off the back of that train. That spin's cost him 2nd. He's got a lot of work to do, but that was not at all what Cam's race needed.
Yeah, Cam just risking it just a little bit too much there, and paying the price as Caladri is side by side with Isotopic for P4, and he actually gets a fantastic run there on the outside and just clears him. Here comes LMN now with the opportunity to do the same, but looks like he's just gonna duck out and get back into the slipstream of the Ferrari.
Yeah, we'll still sustain that place behind then. Let's keep an eye on those 2 Alfa Romeos on those medium tires. Still Scuba out there. He's surely going to have to come in to cover up the charge of York, the charge of Noisy. Further back in the field, that's a Scuba now, diving to the pit lane, and that's the real moment of truth in the race. And where does he emerge? He surely, as Cam gets a penalty to compound his woes. But Scuba surely will be out, and he'll be out around the Alfa Romeos. He'll be behind Gary, no doubt, but let's see what he can make of it then. Can he charge up through the order? Can he maybe squeak a race win out of this? Then he is in contention for the championship leader. Could be on for a win. Now, where does he emerge? This is Adamant 2's race then. He's now limited, restricted by the pit lane, but he's going to get up to speed now. He's not going to be far from Gary. He's going to emerge just shy of that, and he's going to be out ahead of York. So now Scuba out there can give chase. He's going to maintain that position in front of York. By the way, York, he was half a second quicker than Gary on the last lap. That's the imbalance between the mediums and the hards. And Scuba surely is going to have the same once you get those dialed in. So you said that potentially Gary going in early is cost him dearly. Scuba now is going to go up to, and that's a mismatch. Aged hard tires against fresh medium tires. Scuba should surely fly through. He's got so much more grip underneath him. The gap already coming down. Gary in the net race leads still, but has he made that error? Scuba reeling him in. Merely has to get it done now. He's tried to get through Gary so far. Hasn't made it work, but he's flying now, and Gary surely cannot keep him behind for long.
No, Gary is in trouble here. He's got charging medium runners directly behind him. And the interesting thing is the gap between these guys and Caladri up in third. I believe it's around, it's just over around about 11 seconds. But the golden thing for Caladri is he does have DRS. He's able to extend on the straights.
Yeah, he can just about keep in touch with the super medium runners ahead that aren't battling just yet. Alonso chasing down AGU, but unable to quite go for the move as of yet. Pit loss around this track is around 17 seconds, I believe. And so that's going to be playing the impact in this race. But look at Scuba. He's already with Gary and hounding him. Looking for a way through, heading into turn 4. He doesn't need to be too aggressive with this, though he can bait his time. But look at him, crowding the rear wing of Williams, and surely this is the move for the lead coming very soon then. The Red Bull chasing Williams, these two rivals in the Constructors' battle. And now, are going to duke it out on track, but this one almost seems to be something of a foregone conclusion. Scuba hounding Gary. Can Gary somehow hold on to this? They power out of turn 10 yet again now as we hit the halfway point of the race. Now DRS is active. He doesn't have to go for it into turn 1. He can bait his time, he can wait, he can suss out the best overtaking opportunity. Now he pulls for the overtake and he is charging now out of turn 1 towards turn 3, and the slipstream, the inside lane is covered by Gary. To the outside, Scuba's going to go, and he glazes through, and there's nothing Gary can do. He runs wide on the Scuba. Gary trying to get back up and alongside with Scuba, powering clear now, cruising away, and he now holds the net race lead. Gary trying to fight back with DRS and an ERS to the inside lane. Doesn't have the braking capabilities, doesn't have the grip, doesn't have anything to work with, and through goes Scuba now, up to the front. He now runs in 10th position, will gain the lead when the driver's in front pit. He is now cruising to the lead now. He just needs to hold on to it then, run it clear. Gary needs now Scuba's tires to fall off the cliff at the end. He still sits in that 11th place as it stands, but Scuba now, well up in front, can control this race now up the front then. Gary tried to go in early, but it simply has not been to be.
Yeah, unfortunately it was just the case of the hards versus the mediums. Gary unable to defend from Scuba there, but crucially Gary has to stick within DRS, and I believe Scuba is trying to push to break that as soon as possible. Already 8 tenths the gap between them.
Yeah, and that gap is likely to extend there. Gary running quite low on his battery, so he's limited in his capabilities. He's got to try and push up a little bit further, but I sense his race with the two alphas behind it, York and Noisy now at this point there. He's still got a good chance of a podium, and he is going to have to fight for it. There is no doubt about that. So, Scuba now hits the front, and he's waiting for the drivers in front to come in, and then when do they decide to bite that bullet? You sense they're going to be out there a little bit longer looking for softs to close out the race and to bring themselves towards the checkered flag. Where can they figure out in some of these battles further up the order? So the lead is held by AGU as it stands, and Alonso seems content to just follow through the McLaren driver. He's got so much ERS to his name, and he can wait for the opportunity to come up. That's probably going to come in that second set. Caladri behind. Looks quicker than these guys. Alonso actually nearly into the back of AGU, and now over alongside of Caladri, trying to gain that place on the overtake, and he's going for it now. And Caladri gets alongside Alonso now, charging side by side in a turn 4. They battle for the apex in the corner, lay on the brakes. Brave move from Caladri to the inside lane. He forces his way through. Caladri is up in a second place. Absolute brilliance from the AlphaTauri. Runs in front of the Haas, now swinging through into that second place. Brilliant from Caladri. Then he can set up a move on AGU. One mistake from Alonso cost him dearly, and now Caladri up to second can threaten AGU's lead. AGU looking towards the pit lane. The McLaren is diving in early, and then round outside Caladri. They almost touch, but through he goes to the race lead. Alonso's with him now. You're with a penalty, and now his teammate Element trying to get over the alongside of the towards turn 1. He's searching for the inside lane as he brave on the brakes. Alonso sweeps back around the outside and swinging out on the offensive, trying to now turn the attack from Element into the fence as now the Mercedes hounding him, looking left and right, trying to suss an overtaking opportunity out. Doesn't come through, but the down there with Cowboy on the hard, a few seconds back, then a sway up the road, gets alongside Element again, who's under pressure. Element will sustain it round here, and come back towards Alonso up the road now, but He cannot simply get through. Caladra now leads the race. Few moments of brilliance take him through. Alonso behind him. Those hard tires got some life in them. We'll see what they can make of it now. 14 and a half laps on them. How much further can he start? Just the Alfa Romeo now swinging in alongside. They go to the inside lane. Element makes a mistake and now runs wide on the swing. Element tries to get underneath. Doesn't quite work out. And Element with wing damage is going to have to come in again. So his race has been dramatically faltered now. He's going to stay out there now. Corboy and Isotomic going at it. Isotomic diving to the pit lane now for Ferrari. So 2 cars on that lap, then exhausting stuff. Caladra leads the race. He is well clear. He's in such a good position now to charge up. AGU out there, less than 5 seconds behind. He gets a penalty, but he's not out of range of a podium either if he keeps charging up then. So many strategies now coming into play. Busy pit lane. Alonso will be the first driver to emerge from that pit lane now. He comes out round the back of AGU, and Alonso, I think, is not out of contention for even a podium here. He comes out 10th with a soft tire that's going to be flying. A few seconds to make up to the Alfa Romeos in front. Game on in that battle for the podium, and it's far from over. Noisy and York may maintain those positions, but they're going to be dramatically under threat, because surely those guys behind are coming back, and now it's Isotomic dives into the inside of Matty Moss, gets alongside to the air, but Matty Moss more momentum on the outside and draws alongside and through on the outside lane, but the DRS and the extra momentum Isotomic will easily reclaim that. Yellow's behind. This is man, that's Cameron, and out the session, Mike.
Yeah, Cam around on the exit of turn 3. I'm not sure if it was down to contact or whether just losing it on traction. It is a very traction heavy zone, the exit of turn 3 there. But would this bring out a safety car? No, it doesn't. We're back racing once again. Full greens all over the place. And sway into the pits, obviously thinking that a safety car or a VSC could have been possible there. That would have been big for Sway, but these guys on the softs are going to be flying. The question is now, can Scuba catch up to Caladri before Scuba's tyres start to drop off?
Well, let's see what Scuba's tires are looking like then. He has still got some life in them at the moment. His tires are still less worn than Gary's. So in fact, Scuba looks pretty strong at the moment, but he is catching now that train of Wesker and Corboy out there, and they're still battling out there. They're going to try and stretch the tires maybe for a few laps longer, or maybe they're going to try go in early, get some softs on. Let's see what the strategy is going to be. Scuba now reels the pair of them in. It's a stroke of luck, because now into the pit lane they go. Corboy and Wesker diving in. We got yellows. Corboy going off, then spinning off into the pit lane entry. He's got damage now. Oh, that's jaunting. That's heartbreaking for Corboy. He recovers the car, but in such a close field, that's going to cost him dearly. Gary with a penalty. He's on the defensive. He didn't need that in the slightest. And he's got Noisy now within range of him, and the stopper is really getting now. Camps out the session and further back. Now we go Battleson. Alonso chases down AGU to the outside line, to the outside through turn 2, the outside through turn 3 isn't even necessary. Through goes Alonso. He's now the leading mean. So but he runs wide now, and AGU gets back up and alongside it now. They're going to battle away now, looking towards turn 4, but the DRS with AGU, he draws back level now. Can he run it to the inside line then? Save through turn 4 then, but it's held by the McLaren. Great defence and an editing again. Alonso through it was not enough as now down the road. Bellament moves past Matt Tibos then. Matt Tibos is absolutely defenceless. Through go the soft runners then. Bang, bang, bang. They all throw their offensives at him, their intentions at him, and at the end, Matt Tibos, nothing to hold on to, nothing to defend. Get him to 11th place in a disastrous race, and with both Scuba and Gary up front then, the championship can be really changing up then, and Scuba's championship lead, if he holds on to us, could be gargantuan. His consistency showing through with a first race victory. He's moving into championship contention as we near the halfway point in the season. The question is, can he keep that form going? Because at the moment, Scuba in this race especially looks unstoppable. His net lead now 3.5 seconds up at the front. It's now Wesker alongside Matt Tibos again, and Matt Tibos just cannot keep him behind. Back goes the Red Bull, and forward goes his teammate. Matt Tibos was thriving in the last 2 rounds, but now as his teammates started to take the mantle, run to the front, 3.8 seconds the gap. Scuba now just has to keep it on the track. He's dominated this race. What a drive from Scuba, and his championship lead is going to be emphatic now after this race if he keeps this going.
Yep, Scuba doing absolutely everything he needs to do in this championship so far. He's been very consistent, and it shows with the lead that he does have in the championship, but this will just extend his lead even more. And for Matt Tibos, right now all the way down in P12, and you gotta think, you gotta think that he's just gonna drop further and further back from Wesker, so may not be able to get any higher than P11 here unless we see some more 3-second penalties from further up the road. But right now, Caladre looking to get a whole heap of points on Matt Tibos. So Matt Tibos at the moment, second in the championship, could be leaving this race in 4th.
Well, there's certainly very many possibilities. We'll see how that is going to unfold then, as we now draw towards the closing rounds of the championship in just a few races time. Of course, every race counts in this shortened calendar season, just 11 rounds. We now come through in the 5th round. Scuba has been dominant so far, and he is pulling clear, 4.4 seconds away. Gary cannot lift with him, but he still looks strong for 2nd place and nursing those hard tires to the checkered flag. But the threats are certainly for the podium behind, because AGU and Alonso are on the ascension and chasing down that Alfa Romeo pairing that has been one of the strongest so far in the race. But now they are coming under attack, and look at this, an AGU from Alonso trying to maybe gain a place out on the triathlon with DRX and Slips and closes up the inside line. Cover for AGU, and he is looking warily in both mirrors, but he runs wide through turn 3, and now Alonso is right there with him. Is the move going to come through now with DRS open, but he is just too far away. I think that AGU can cover it off, maintain possession, but all Alonso needs to do is follow him through, because AGU has that penalty. Now AGU is within range of those 2 Alphas. Noisy and a net P3s it stands, but surely that is going to cover the threat. York, AGU, Alonso even sway within range. Can they get through though and try and deny him? Alonso's got the best chance without penalties, but he's got to get through some cars here. Alonso maybe up for podium that he may well keep this time. Can he get through the AGU on the offensive now? He's with York. Is the manoeuvre going to come through though? Now it's York that's under huge pressure now to maintain that 5th place out there on the road.
Yeah, and for Gary now, the threat of losing the podium is very real. He does have a 3-second time penalty to his name. Noisy without a penalty, Alonso without a penalty. Fresh sauce behind, you got the mediums closing in still. Williams, and it's getting very tasty of who is going to be on the podium here. Can Caladri's tyres hold on? Will Scuba get the win? Can Gary keep a hold of P3? Will the mediums close up? Can Alonso and AJ get through? We've got 8 more laps after this lap to find out.
Yeah, there's so many different possibilities, as there so often is with racing here at TTML. Caladre still leads the race. He is stretched. He has absolutely extracted every ounce of performance for those tires. But has he left us too late to pit? He's stayed out such an awfully long time compared to other hard runners. He's maybe just losing time that he cannot afford to lose. So maybe he's not going to have that late charge we may have expected for him. We'll see what he can make of it, but he is going to emerge well down the field as it stands. Still, this battle over 3rd place. The net 3rd place is still commencing, and still has the possibility that York gets alongside his teammate, backs out though for the move. That does not come through just yet. Does he drive for better fortunes on the exit? He's going to be wearing the edge, closing in behind in the McLaren. And now York going to the outside this time of his teammate, will cruise through Noisy. Just allows it to happen. Through goes York. Noisy without a penalty. Now has DRS in the fame, but the McLaren is hounding him now. Looking left and right for the move. He's going to the inside. Oh, turn 6. That's ambitious. That's bold. But it does not quite come through an AGU. Has to sit out behind then. Noisy holding on to him, but AGU already surmounting his offence. Now Noisy with a penalty. So now Alonso is jumping this entire group.
What's the gap between Gary and Alonso? 3.4 seconds.
It is right on the cusp here And so this really changes the dynamic out of Alonso. May well still be in a shout for second place and running wide. AGU is going to get the opportunity for Alonso behind in the chase down the half then. He is right on his rear wing as now they go uphill in a turn 3, but not enough quite to come through for the moment. And look at how close he gets. He runs wide though, going through the hairpin. And I think he'll have to sit it behind it. Sway's catching this entire group, and he has too many penalties, I think, to really take advantage. Caladra is still out there, and I have actually not even considered this possibility. Caladra is staying out to such an extent now. He's pushing 70% on the tyres, but because he paid on the safety car, he doesn't have to come in again. He's 67% on that rear left tyre. Can he hold on to it? Caladri, he's staying out all this time. Only Scuba in range. Caladri may well be able to pull this off. Scuba's got to chase him down here. All of a sudden, Caladri, I've not even clocked this. There was up the front, then he's got a great chance of getting a huge haul of points here today.
Yeah, I was looking into it for most of the race with Caladri. Yeah, it was possible for him to get to the end. However, those tyres are going to be absolutely borderline puncher territory for Caladri. So, a podium definitely on for the Alpha Tauri, but he needs to keep those tyres in check. If it means having to sacrifice the race lead to Scuba to get to the end, I think that's a sacrifice he will be willing to make.
It could be a genius strategical, or it could be a heartbreaking ending, but look at Alonso now, he's attacking AGU at last, to the outside of turn 4, it's a spectacular move, he's running right around the outside, and now, trying to suss out the inside lane, Eddie in a turn 6, still has the inner line, can he convert it though? AGU sweeping round the outside, but it may not be enough, the inside lane with Alonso, yet again in a turn 7, they are will to will, nothing out of an AGU, holds on to the place, just about spectacular defence, he had to really work for it now, Sway is looking to the inside line. Alonso, he is right with these guys now, and Alonso threw everything at it, but it wasn't quite enough. He is still looking for a way through, but AGU has established himself. They battled from turn 4 down to turn 8. Absolutely phenomenal, but it was in the end AGU that came out on top, sustained it, but these soft tyres not showing the grip that they need to. Still sitting up there, second place holding with NGU, but he's not been able to attack, and so far Jorgen Noyce and his two Alphas have held on firmly at the front. They're still holding those P4 and P5 places.
Yeah, the Alfa Romeo is doing some fantastic teamwork, just using each other for DRS. They've managed to just be below 2 seconds to Gary, so Gary could be under pressure in the final few laps if they continue charging forward like they are, and they're bringing AJU, Alonso and Sway along for the ride.
Yes, it is going to be a spectacular conclusion to what has been a thrilling and ever-evolving Austrian Grand Prix. We are now with just 4 laps to go in the Grand Prix. We have an immense battle over 4th place and a potential battle for the win. Scuba still has to work this, but Alonso is on the attack yet again, but this time he backs out of it. Not going for the move early, but he's forced a mistake. AGU is wide at turn 1, and now Alonso draws level. He's had 2 attempts at getting through before, and third time is the charm, and this time, at last, Alonso is through on AGU. Now can convert this. He has a podium now within the 6 further back. Sway trying to draw alongside AGU, and AGU has nothing to fight with it. AGU dropping back in the field. I'm not sure what's happened to him. I don't think he's got a puncture or anything, but he's slipped these places. Almost looked like he had nothing to fight with traction wise. Now he's dropped well back, way down the order, and AGU now off the back. He's detached. What on earth has happened to the McLaren driver?
I'm not really sure, but I did notice Sway weaving on the straight down towards turn 4, and maybe signalling AJ that no, we shouldn't have done that. And I don't know, maybe it would be something for the stewards to look at, maybe something an issue between the Mercedes and the McLaren, but the McLaren is into the pits.
And yeah, very bizarre that situation. He retires from the session. What on earth? He was still getting a good haul of points anyway. Not exactly sure what's happened there, but HU now out the running in this race, and still battles commencing then. 3 laps to go, and Caladri still leads this one. He's driven sensationally, but now he's in puncture territory. And Sway running out way behind, having to give up some ground there, nearly into the back of Alonso, just about managed to save it. Now though, Scuba, he is gradually, ever so gradually, worked his way towards a stunning drive from Caladri. It's so brave, it's so bold, but will it be beautiful? With just 2 laps to go now, Scuba is holding in the race leader. 7/10 the gap then. It's plenty of time. It's only 2 laps, but all he needs to do is convert 1 overtaking opportunity, and he has 6 DRS zones to help make it a possibility. So Scuba now has a race leader now within his sights, has DRS open yet again. How much ERS does he have? He doesn't have much, but now there's Caladri. 5/10 the gap, then coming down all the time now as they head down the straight, down to 4/10, as now they plunge into the braking zone of that turn 3 then. Who's going to get a better exit? Who's got the better traction through? Looks like Caladri has really been resourceful and power clear on the exit. Further down the road, Alonso is on the attack then against the Alfa Romeo to the inside line, and running through turn 3's level and side by side locked together with Noisy, but he gets through, they're almost touching in a turn 4, but the inside line is going to be with the Alfa, the Haas. Can he get through though? Sweeping round the outside, there's contact, and back goes Noisy, dropping back. Now he has Sway for company. Noisy leading that place, and now Alonso has the podium on lock pretty much. He can just follow your foot to the line. He has it. He's got a few tenths in hand, but now the battle for the race, when it all comes down to this, Scuba chasing Caladri. Caladri's tires are short. He's got nothing left to give, and now Scuba is he going to go for the race lead to the inside of turn 1. That's when he hangs back for me. He's just going to wait for a run. Going now into turn 3. Can he get the exit? Can he get the place? He's locked and loaded in a selection. Caladri's getting him in. He knows his last gasp resort is to try a run into turn 4 as the exit, and turn 3 is covered by Scuba. All Scuba needs is a powerful exit, and I tell you what, he's done just that in the lead. Changes hands in the final lap. Alonso cruising past York. Now solidifying that for police. He runs wide though, and through goes York, and now Noisy trying to follow through behind, and they're battling for the aim. It's a turn 4, York with the inside line. This may won't give Gary the podium at the 10th, and they're battling all the way to the checker flag. But up at the front, it is Scuba who holds that race lead. Caladri has stretched these tires to the absolute limit, but he's just been denied on the final lap then. Now going for the line, and Scuba up in front, as long as he doesn't get a penalty or spin out of the last corner. He has the race winning hand, then Scuba is going to win his first race this evening. Stunning from Scuba. What nerve to pull it together. He wins today. Caladri, a phenomenal drive to second as well. Now, does Gary get the podium here? So Alonso dropping back in the last lap. Gary holds on to it. Alonso denied by a tenth of a second. York 5th. Noisy 2nd. Elementa 7th, Sway 8th, Ice Topic 9th, Wesker P10, Matt Tibos P11, B Morgan. Actually, Matt Tibos does jump Wesker in the end of penalties to act as a consolidation for that race that didn't go his way. Wesker is 11th, B Morgan will cross 12th, and Corboy 13th. What a race! Scuba at the death! Getting through Caladri. It came down to the last 7 corners of the race, but he made it through, he saw it through, and Scuba's your race winner. What a conclusion to this Austrian Grand Prix.
That was absolutely fantastic. Alonso gets the in-game driver of the day, and I believe he came from last up to 4th, so that is a fantastic drive there from the Haas.
Certainly it was, there is no doubt about that. But there you have your podium in front of you. Scuba, Caladri, Gary. That is the order of proceedings here in the Austrian Grand Prix. And Scuba now surely is going to move into a absolutely brilliant championship possession. He's going to lead the way by the calculations of TAS. His lead now 19 points. And so that is absolutely adamant for his championship challenge. He wins today. Caladri, what a drive on tyre management. He risked it all and he was rewarded with a podium. Gary is P3 in the end with Alonso in 4th position. York and Noisy were right together the whole way through the race. They get 5th and 6th in the end, the 2 Dutchmen. P5, P6, Lemon in P7 does grab fastest lap of the race, so fair play to Element in the end. Sway is 8th there from Ice Topping, and Matt Tibos rounding out the top 10. Wesker B. Morgan, Corby round out the finishers. AGU retired in the pit lane with a few laps to go. Cam and Tionis also unable to make the checkered flag. That is going to be it for the racing tonight, but we're going to be getting our thoughts from the drivers then. Another fantastic event, and I guess now what we have to do is look forward to the remainder of the season. That is it then for the 5th round of the championship, but we still have much more to come this season then. We can get the hopefully the podium drivers in. I'm sure Mike is going to be working on that then. But Scuba wins it, and that is a critical win for that championship fight.
Yeah, just put a message into the Discord, see who's available, because I know Scuba sometimes doesn't come in. He's said that he won't be in for tonight, so we're not going to have our race winner in.
Oh, well, that is a little bit unfortunate, but hopefully we do get the other drivers into it. Well, Caladre said that he is all for it, and I suspect that Gary, since we've had him in all throughout as well, so he should be fine to go as well. Congratulations to all those podium finishers, but I guess I'm going to come to you quickly before you offend any of the drivers coming in. Michael Edwards, who was your driver of the day for today?
Do you know what? Just for the simple fact that he made the tyres last, I have to give it to Caladre.
Yeah, I think that is certainly a very worthy pick for that driver of the day as well. Top-notch drive all the way throughout for Caladre. But as well, I've got to give really honourable mentions to Scuba and to Alonso as well. Scuba, of course, in the end, thoroughly deserved to win that race. Took advantage of where others faltered, and also Alonso coming from last on the grid to nearly getting a podium. Absolutely stunning stuff. But he was denied by the man that's just joined the party here. XL Gary, I suppose you're all fine on audio. Just a quick check, though, make sure everything's all right.
Yeah, all good.
All right, let's run through it. So Gary, of course, stunning pole position. Great first stint as well. It just seemed like, though, that strategy worked against you then. What was your thinking going to the hard tyres? Of course, I think the safety car is what really led it towards the mediums. What were your thoughts then, and were you worried at all about people going for that alternate strategy and trying again later on in the race?
Well, I'm pretty sure I knew everyone was going to go into mediums, but I don't know, for whatever reason, my tyre wear is really bad at this track compared to others, which is quite annoying. And soft medium for me is just impossible. I can barely do soft hard, so it just is what it is. It's quite annoying, but I just made the best out of it I could, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt. And also, to come to you again, you had to really fight for that podium. You had that train of cars that was just slowly but surely bringing them in. Were you aware of the threat of Alonso with no penalties behind, and how stressful was that last lap, trying to extend that gap that you needed and only just getting it at the end?
Well, I knew he didn't have a pen, but I didn't know how close he was. And then I seen his name pop up. He overtook someone, and then I was like, he's probably going to get me here. And then I don't know if he was battling someone behind me, but last lap I had a little bit of ERS left, and I just used it all, and just about managed to hold on to the podium, which is not the end of the world.
Yeah, definitely. Still a very solid result. Mate, you got anything to add?
I'm just trying to get Caladre sorted in a sec. He's got settings on his thing, so I had to add him.
All right. Well, I guess so.
A fantastic drive from you, Gary, but it did seem like the mediums were just a little bit too much for you to keep up with in the end. But how are you feeling about the fact that one of your championship rivals, being Matt Tibos, has dropped a lot of points to you today?
It doesn't really matter, I guess, because Scuba gained more points than me, so I didn't really win anything. I'm not winning the championship. I think I'm second now, so I'm not winning, so I don't really care what Matt Tibos did, what happened to him. Just care that Scuba annoyingly won again, or he got his first race win. He bet me again, basically, so got to make sure that doesn't happen again. So try and go again next week.
Yeah, certainly. We now have, first of all, I have no idea how to pronounce your name, so I guess I'm going to quickly run through that. How is your name pronounced, just before we actually get into the things?
Kalidra.
Kalidra, right. I'll keep that on board because I've been pronouncing it horrifically. But fantastic drive today, yet again. First of all, of course, I think you win the award for bravest man in the field for going for that very risky hard strategy, which nearly worked against you in the end, but you managed to drive it home. What was the logic behind that decision? And of course, after that early safety car, were you confident that the tires would last all the way to the checkered flag?
Well, I was already going for the soft hard strategy, but yeah, when it came lap 5, I wanted to pit, and I knew the mediums definitely couldn't last, but I thought that I would give the hards a chance. I saw a TRL Limitless video earlier where he pitted earlier in Brazil too, so I thought I would give it a go as well. Yeah, but I think even though the tire wear was terrible, my pace was okay. I kept Gary at the almost same gap, I think, around the 8-7 seconds. He never got closer than that, so I actually didn't know that Scuba had pitted already. I thought he was one of the Red Bulls that had to pit after the safety car. Yeah, so I was just waiting for him to pit and was quite sure that the victory was home.
Yeah, of course. When it came to the last few laps, when I'm sure it registered to you that he wasn't pitting again, did you still think the win was possible? Because you really had a great shot at it all the way throughout. Obviously, he had a major tire advantage over you, but you still gave it a good go. What was your thinking on that last lap, though? Because he came past you. Was your idea maybe to give him the go into turn 3 and try and fight back towards turn 4 and just salvage a win right at the death? What was your thinking there?
Yeah, I wanted him to overtake me on the penultimate lap, but he was not having that. So yeah, I think he was saving the RS for the last lap, and I was too. But yeah, he just had the tire advantage in the traction zones. So going out of the turn 1, he just had the overspeed on me, and I couldn't get the traction in turn 3, down to turn 4. So yeah, I gave up at that point and just wanted to make the tires last. So put it in lean and cruise to the finish line just to make sure I got a podium at least.
Yeah, of course. This is this is now your second podium of the season. Your consistency has really kept you sort of in the championship hunt. Actually, you're not too far away, and you obviously just a couple of good results can swing that your way. Do you still think that a championship is maybe possible? There's a bit of a gap there to particularly Scuba leading the way, but do you still think that you maybe have a shot at maybe snatching one from some of the guys a bit higher up the table?
Well, I think top 3 is possible, so I'll start to have my focus on that. I don't think P1 is realistic. I think Scuba is really consistent and hasn't really made a bad result yet. I have had so many terrible races already, not to mention the Baku one. Yeah, so I'm just happy to get on the podium once again.
Yeah, and Mike, anything to add?
I just got to ask, what percentage was your tires on right at the end?
I think they surpassed the 85%.
Wow.
I know that going on the penultimate lap, I think they were 81%. But it was, it was the rear left tire. The others were fine. They were only in the 70s when the race ended.
Unbelievable.
Well, go on.
I was speechless with that, right? Because it was in my mind the entire time that you could possibly get to the end on those hards, but they would be very borderline the puncher. And towards the end, when it was guaranteed that he was going to go all the way to the end, I was kind of rooting for you to get that win, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I was hoping that he would let me get that one. I think I earned it with that massaging technique. But
Yeah,
definitely
and
a good one for me.
yeah, it seemed like this was a good race for you, but obviously the next race, Silverstone. How do you feel about Silverstone? You looking forward to it?
Yeah, it's my favorite track, so
Oh
I
wow.
hope to get some good practice in and maybe repeat this result.
Let's
Fantastic.
see if that's what's going to come through. But I think that is almost it for tonight. Just to run you through, of course, because we have a lot more stuff to come on League Racing TV. I think the of course, keep an eye out for more TTML tomorrow night. You're going to see Division 4 and Division 5 at 8 p.m. UK time. Make sure you are sticking in tune for that as well. More to mention as well is that next week you're going to see the return of the EML Teams Championship for both the Premier Division and League One as well. So keep an eye out. That is next Wednesday, League One at 7 p.m. UK time, and the Premier Division at 8:30 p.m. UK time. So keep an eye out for that. It is going to be, yet again, absolutely fantastic stuff out there on the road yet again. And so I think with pretty much everything sorted out, be wary of everything coming on next week as well. Division 2 is going to be going to Silverstone, as Mike mentioned earlier. And so keep an eye out for that. Of course, an iconic circuit that I'm sure is going to throw up another spectacular race. But before we end today, I'm going to come to you quickly, Mike. Do you have anything more to add after this fantastic night of racing?
Absolutely incredible. Looking forward now to Silverstone, where it is possible for some very mixed conditions with the good old British weather.
Let's see if that's what's going to come to fruition. But thank you all very much for tuning into the stream here tonight. But I think with everything all said and done, I've been Daniel Hogarth, he's been Michael Edwards, and until next time, we'll see you later.
Good night.
Out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. How'd I end up alone? I'm not certain. The girls impolite in the club every night. Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. How'd I end up alone? I'm not certain. Girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you're Hollywood perfect. Yeah, I'm on my way home. I'm no good for you, so I drive around Manhattan. They're all laughing, oh, I'm tragic. Yeah, I'm driving in my car and seeing open, but I can't go down that road again. I'll smoke a cigarette, but will that help me forget you? Will that help me forget you? I just need to forget you. Oh, you. I need to treat you better than that and make you feel like I did in the past. Oh, I will treat you better than that. I don't need to forget you. I need to treat you better than that and make you feel like I did it
something that won't let me forget the way that you move. You tattooed me with your lips. I wore you like perfume. We were like no other, two hearts on the edge, but we went from lovers to just being friends. Play me like a song stuck in your head, but you still get my blood rushing. Dance with me, baby, take away the pain. Dance with me, baby, you can lead the way. Dance with me, baby, a cure for the heartbreak. Dance with me and let this old record play. Let it play, baby. Let it play, baby. Dance with me and let this old record play. I know you see me cross the room. Let's skip to the